Hello there, mechanical keyboard nerds, okay? In today's video, we're going to be unboxing, reviewing, and sound testing the XVX M61. You see what I did right there? I'm going to be super detailed and thorough. We'll see what it sounds like stock out of the box first, but I will also say that this will be a little bit longer of a video with fewer edits, okay? But I'll leave you some video jump links in the description below this video. So if you'd like to skip ahead to the sound test and skip ahead to Pete's thoughts after I've typed on it for a while, you won't hurt my feelings. Go find what you need. Actually, one more thing. Womier or XVX, I don't know. The company that makes this keyboard did send me this for free. They're not paying me to make this video. They didn't tell me what to say. I have full control over my own thoughts and opinions. Thank you very much. But I just wanted to disclose they did send me this for free. So there you go. Let's unbox, shall we? Okay, so what's in the box? This keyboard, 60%. What I looked up and what I like about this before I've even opened it is wireless. Obviously, a $75-ish keyboard, that's it. Keycap puller, obviously. USB-C. Big fan. This looks like a decent cable. Doesn't look super long. It has a nice little branded, what is that called? The little cover thing right there? It doesn't matter. Cable. Doesn't matter. Here we go. Keyboard. Packaging was good, by the way. The box seemed nice and stable. So there's no manual? Okay. I'm about to be angry. 60% keyboard, so it doesn't have a numpad, doesn't have function keys or home cluster or dedicated arrow keys, so you're definitely going to want the manual, which is going to show you how to access those via the function buttons, and it does. Looks like there's plenty here. Wired mode, 2.4G wireless dongle, which I don't see. Oh, you know what? Boom! Dongle! Right there. I like that. I like these like 60, 70 bucks Amazon budget brands, if I'm being honest, coming with either Bluetooth or at least the dongle. I prefer Bluetooth, but dongle works fine. Right out of the bat. I'll plug it in for the sound test here in a second, but let me just start with this. I like the way this looks and feels. Usually when you see these prints from like budget keyboard brands, they just kind of look and feel a little cheap, at least the ones that I have personally got my hands on. And not that it looks premium per se, but it's definitely like, that doesn't look cheap. It doesn't look like they just slap some like paints and prints on an uber cheap plastic keyboard. It doesn't look and feel like that. It feels actually pretty solid and heavy, I might add. There is no yield and bending in the case, like whatsoever. Big fan of that. It doesn't have retractable feet or foldable feet to give you like an angle, but it does have some padded feet right there at the bottom, which will help with sound dampening just a little bit, and you can also move it around a little easier, I think. I like that. Definitely not low profile, but definitely not higher profile either. I really like the shape of this case now that I'm here and looking at it. Again, I can't express this enough. I'm not really one for like fancy prints like this, but it doesn't look bad. I'm actually really impressed. I thought it was going to be cheaper. Sorry, XVX. But it's a $75 budget keyboard. I thought it was going to look cheaper, but it's not. The die actually looks really well. I think it looks really well done. Okay, MDA profile keycaps, I think I read, which are, I can't remember, maybe a little bit shorter than Cherry, spherical in their approach. Those words for this sort of stuff, I always forget it. Sorry in advance. So, by the way, this is not a hot swappable keyboard, which kind of stinks. It's like the one feature that I love, because I'm just a nerd and I like to try out switches, but it does have Gateron reds and yellows, which I think is a cool little choice. No clicky switches. I think they have browns available as well in both this print and the Coral Sea, more like green-ish print. I actually think I like this one better. That's actually pretty cool, but not hot swappable. So there you go. And I'm not doing any soldering myself. So it looks like I'm sticking with the Gateron reds that they sent me. Okay, it's time for Pete's thoughts. Look, feel, sound, and then I'll just go over some brief pros and cons. Look, A+. If you like the way this looks exactly as is. Like, the 360 print is amazing. They did a really good job all around the keyboard. The keycaps look great. PBT, nice and matte finish, if you will. That's what I like to think of PBT keycaps are. It looks phenomenal. One thing, if you ever want to put in different keycaps, you totally can. Just pop them off, replace the keycaps at your will, but you just want to make sure you have one that matches the overall theme of the keyboard. It's not a blank keyboard like black or white, where any keycaps will kind of go on there and look okay. Like, you just got to make sure they match. By the way, a big shout out to XVX. I did see that they had some additional keycaps available on their site, which have a much higher chance of actually matching the keyboard. So maybe go check there if you don't like the keycaps or you want to play around with the different ones. Go look at their website. That's actually pretty cool. Now, feel pretty good. The actual keyboard itself, super awesome. Nice and heavy. It's sturdy. It feels really good. I love when people put these like little dampener feet on it. It works really well. Sound dampening makes it easier to like move around and not clank around. I love that. It's great. The only negative I have to say about the sound and feel on typing are the stabilizers. Underneath the spacebar, the shift key especially, shift keys are like always going to be a little bit more muted, but this is like overly muted compared to the spacebar, which is like big and thocky and a little bit resonant, hollow, and scratchy. Like, again, I want to give credit where it's due. It's a budget keyboard. I've never touched a $75 keyboard that felt like the stabilizers were lubed and tuned right out of the box. It feels like a custom, $300 keyboard. I've never ever touched one. So this is right on par with that. But just know, yeah, it does feel a little bit, the stabilizers specifically feel a little cheap, a little rattly. If you're not big into custom keyboards and you're looking for this like your one and only mechanical, you'll never notice the difference. And it sounds and feels great. It really does. Not a big fan of Gateron Reds myself, by the way. Not my favorite linear switch, but if you're into linear switches, you're gaming or typing alike, it sounds good. It feels good. If you watch this video and you like the way it sounds, then you're going to be happy with this keyboard. Now, pros and cons. Pros, price. It's a great budget. I love that it's wireless. I did test the dongle, by the way. I took it out. Dongle works great for me personally. I also plugged it in wired via the cable. It worked great. I love that. I didn't actually try out their cable because I have like a million of these things lying around, but I assume it worked. $75, a 60% wireless keyboard that actually looks fantastic. That's great. That's pro. The next pro is the look. I mean, they did a really good job with this. I thought it was going to look a lot cheaper at that like price range. I really did. I thought it was going to look like, okay, they printed the whole keyboard, yada, yada. No, it looks really good. Okay, this is a little weird, but a lot of these companies have really crappy user manuals, which makes a difference, especially on compact keyboards where you need to learn the function commands to reach the function row, the arrow keys, as well as like changing the RGB. I screw that up every time. Doesn't matter. Changing the backlighting, you need those instructions, and it needs to be clear. And quite frankly, they did a good job, more than most. A+ Pro XVX for your manual. It sounds like a silly thing, but 6 months in, when you want to change out your colors or you mess something up in your RGB changed, you won't have to go Googling it, and sometimes hard to find. This is great. Nice job on the manual. Only 2 cons, really, or maybe 3. Number 1, switch choices. I like Gaterons. I like that they have Gateron yellows. That's what I would pick if they didn't send me the reds by default. I would have chosen the Gateron yellows. You probably would have been better off. But come on, no clicky switch options, or I don't know. Cherry MX might have been a little bit better. But again, it's a budget keyboard, so what are you gonna do? Gateron reds, yellows, whatever. That's a con in my book, but a very small one. Now, stabilizers. They look and feel and sound a tiny bit cheap. Again, I want to express this. It's par for the course. It's average. I've never touched a $70 keyboard that blew me away with how good their stabilizers were. I've already mentioned that. By the way, just go to my website, KeebNews.com, and I have a great article that teaches you exactly how to swap out your stabs and lube them and tune them, and tell you how Types has the best YouTube video ever. Why would I ever cover that here? On how to lube and tube lube, and tune your stabilizers as well. So you can swap them out, mod them. Spend an extra like 20, 30 bucks, maybe includes shipping for some like nice stabilizers. And this instantly like goes a couple of rungs up, in my opinion. I wish it were hot swappable. That's my last con. I'm just a Switch nerd. I guess if you're into the linears, the Gateron Yellow probably just lasts you a long time, right? You don't need a hot swappable keyboard for that. If this is like your main daily driver keyboard for gaming or typing. For me, I like hot swappable just because I'm a nerd and I got lots of switches to choose from, and I like my Gateron Milky Yellows or the Ink Blacks even, or maybe the Echo Jelly Blacks. I don't know. I would put those in here over the Gaterons, but I don't feel like soldering this bad boy. I was also looking like, how difficult would this be to disassemble so you could desolder the switches out of there? I don't know. You might have to reach out to the customer support about that. It doesn't look like an easy, like, oh, I'm going to pop off these 4 screws and it's just easy. No, it doesn't look like that. You might have to try out some different stuff. But what do I know? I haven't actually opened it. Okay, that is my review of the XVX M61. Honestly, for the price range, if you like the way this looks, if it's your style, this is a great pickup. I really do believe that. It looks great. It sounds great. I wish I had better stabilizers. Wish it were hot swappable, but honestly, it's a great budget keyboard. And it's wireless. Huge A+. All right. Hashtag like, comment, review. Review. Whatever. How about this? Thanks for watching. See you next time. Okay.